All right. We live. Should have done this before I started stream, but it's life. Jeremy, number 1. What's up, y'all? Welcome in, Fancy. Welcome in, Jeremy. How's everyone doing so far tonight? Welcome in, Train. I mean, the chat blog would catch you on that one there, Fancy. First in our hearts, though. Yeah, finally got a haircut. Welcome in, Knife. Welcome in, Wolf. What's up? Oh, I forgot I moved that over there. Threw me off. Y'all, look at this. Look at this. We can place things again. How wonderful. Just been staring at this like, what do I do? I did finish off the top. I mean, all I added in was this little part. I'm sure it's going to change some more, but yeah, building is fixed. How do you get so good at building? Just a lot of time in building, really, is all it is. Build a lot. And just keep building. Thank you, Wolf. Working on that pagoda base. Good luck. Yeah, so I finished off the roof in my 3-day little hiatus there. Or at least got finished up some of it. Still plenty to do. Jeez, go where I tell you. Not that way. Copied how you did the walls and front door. I mean, that's why I show it all off. I wouldn't consider it copying, don't worry. I show it off so people can copy it. Make it into whatever you want. Some of the people building it are making me want to redo things. That does look kind of cool. I like this so far. I'm literally wanting to like redo some of my pagoda base because some of them are starting to look so cool. I'm like, how did I not come up with that idea? Best way to get burr? I always like getting it up by the ravine here. It's easier the way I've done it. Just by cutting down all the grass. Makes life way easier. And you see the green shield bugs from way further away, so they're a lot easier to kill, like those two right there. It's a double whammy. The only part is when they land on the thing. But this is definitely the easiest place to get it.
I'm gonna get you, you little green goblin.
Scarabs, yeah. I don't know why I always call them that. And you can get a little bit of lint while you're right here too. But there's one there, there. One normally spawns here, but I accidentally put this too close and I need to move it and I just haven't. Over there, there's one and there's one. Two normally spawn here, but I have to adjust that one as well. One there, couple over there, one in the little ravine, and over there. These are the easiest ones to gather, I think. Yeah, you can build again. They fixed it finally. Really didn't take that long. It was only 4 days or so. 4 work days. But yeah, this is where I like to gather all my burr. And then down by the haze. And once you run it a couple times, it gets a lot easier. Oops. There we go. Put it this base. Doing the new update. Hopefully I can build. Yeah, you will be able to. Able to. It is working. They fixed it. Thank goodness. We can have fun and grounded again. It's not the same when I can't build. Like trying to do the mantis. I beat the mantis off stream too because it took me forever. So many fights. Gray hair is rude. Just because I'm old. Hey, stop changing. Get in there. Get in your hole. Hey bro, how are you? Doing good. Now that building is fixed, even better. We're back at it. Hope you're doing good, Sark. The top of this is going to be kind of fun too. Because since you can't really see it, I'm trying to make the roof look really interesting. Also, welcome in, Uzin. By using the pillars as like a tile sort of thing. And then I'm working on a chandelier. This is definitely not how it's going to end up, but we started it. And then I couldn't build lower than this, so I had to stop. Had to take from Diablo 4. Fingers are dying. Nice. I remember that feeling in Diablo 3. Played a monk in Diablo 3. It was fun. I played a lot of it. How is it? I want to buy it. Sounds like the new update's helping. It honestly seemed like a flop for the most part, but it sounds like they finally figured out that they were screwing it up. Way better now with the changes they made this season. Nice. It's good to hear. It's too good of a game to like screw up and not do right, honestly. It's just too good. It's free on Game Pass. Ooh, interesting. Don't tempt me. Any of those kind of distractions? Kind of like it like that. I don't know. Finished Diablo 3 on the hardest difficulty. Nice. Yeah, that was a really fun game. When I was in college, I played a ton of that. Like a ton. They're getting a phone call. From potential spam. Oh, I know what's wrong. Oops. Why is that so loud? Jesus, sorry about that. I don't know why my web browser turned the volume all the way up. Taking some ideas from Fiend. I'm trying to figure this front area out as well. And I don't know if I want to do anything like this on the top. I was just messing around. It was interesting-ish, but I kind of like that I like the height it's currently at. It actually sort of looks like a dome as well. Added up all the time played on Diablo 3 characters, and I have 600 hours played. Nice. Almost my 2,000 hours on Grounded. Yeah, I'm liking this. Sandbox time for mushrooms. Get the shroomies. I collected a ton the past couple days, so I wouldn't have to do any collecting for mostly ash cement is what I was collecting, because I keep coming up with little details with these triangles and they all cost 1, and it's painful. I don't know why I keep doing it to myself. Oh, I forgot. They can't be placed like that. Darn. When I get a spam call, I say, welcome to... Oh, crematorium. How can we make your loved ones nice? My buddy always says something about, like, some weird sexual innuendo about, like, masturbating. Like, welcome to Mitch's Meat and Baters. It's always pretty funny. Detailing the flat walls, like these. Is that what you're saying? Like the front and sides, front, back, and sides? The front, I don't know, I'm messing around. This detail someone posted in the Discord and I really liked it. It was very fitting. And I was already using the Broodmother lamps, or chandeliers? Yeah, chandeliers. I know there's some by the stump, but they're spaced out and it's dangerous. Go to the Java-matic, underneath the Java-matic and the undershed entrance. That's where the most are, and there's nothing other than like one wolf spider that can do anything. Yeah, I started with just this. I really only liked the center, and then I saw this on Discord, and now I'm trying to mess with the idea. But I couldn't build lower than this the past couple days, so I was just like trying to imagine it, since I couldn't actually do it yet. So I'm just trying to figure this out. Spotted a milk molar on my way to the picnic. Nice. It's a win these days. I still have 5 left, and I think I'm just gonna leave them. Oops. Just because I'm like, eh. I started building and it all disappeared. What? One in the cup? Nice. That's an easy one. That's right, actually. It'll be like that. Get in there. Part I don't know about. It's probably better to pattern this. That part's gonna be interesting. Could do. Get rid of this whole thing. That's a bummer if everything did disappear that you were working on. Been lucky enough I haven't really lost anything thus far. Another one. Curve might be nice, actually. Not sure I want that to be like that. Let's reuse these. Could be a nice detail. Maybe. Blueprints are annoying sometimes. Ain't that the truth? Hey, I was using that. Interesting. This needs to be like that. Might as well do the black ant lab. Yeah. Seems to be where I always start. Hey. What's happening? My copy. And one in between. I also liked that this might sort of spread this center out a little more. But then I don't know. I might do like a balcony or something. Hard to say. I think something could come out. Something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Hard to say. Why is the wolf spider up here? You can just block it in. That's what I did. That one's really easy to block into the Lego thing. You just have to do this. And you can like build through it as well. Just build a wall. We'll just build a wall. Just like that. And he's stuck forever. He's never bothered me. Some of them get out every once in a while, but that one seems to stay pretty well. Question is, do I even want this mushroom? Tis the question. I guess I just have to build it and see what happens. May look horrible. It's hard to say. I wish the quarter blocks, because then I wouldn't have to fill this in. Because I can't place it back like that, or it blocks in. It's kind of cool, though. I guess I haven't really seen anything like that, so it's not bad. I feel like in the long run, these are going to look better, too. I always liked the little, guess I don't need any of those. Get out of there. It's a little funky patterning. This might look better. It's the only part when you're not using the mushroom ones for quarter walls is you kind of have to think about how the pattern's going to come together. Always a bit hard to tell till you actually get in and just do it. But I like showing off the my build process because it's pretty random. It's just doing things and redoing them and then undoing them and back and forth till something sticks that I like. Hey. Rude. There you go. Because then I want... Does that want to be... like that? Interesting. Get out of there. Kind of interesting. Do I like the mushroom behind it better though? Adds a little more contrast. I don't hate this. Hard to say. I might like the mushroom better. Like a slightly better contrast overall. Floors aren't facing the same. You're saying what? Which floors? These ones? Which floors? Actually, I was using that as a placeholder. I also like getting rid of this inside statue because I already want it to come out a ways here, so I was like, it looks better just getting rid of it instead of like hiding it in the corner for no reason. Sit so far in. That's how it's supposed to be too. Oops. Wolf, what floors are you talking about? It's gonna drive me insane now. I also don't want to use like too much ash cement because it's a pain. I just create more pain for myself the more I use. Even though I have the spawn rates turned to a better number. Looked at it wrong. I knew I'd never screw up a stair or a floor. Question is, do I like this? Maybe keeping that way. It's actually not bad. Welcome in, Carden. Hope you're having a good night. Dude, oh, where'd my chandeliers go? So it kind of nestles them in nicely. Sort of like fit the curve a little bit. I kind of like it. Doesn't mean that they'll ultimately end up there, and I also don't have any brood mother stuff here. I do at the other base though. Kind of cool. I don't like this detail. Guess I could just get rid of that since it's not really the same anymore. Do take this. If only I didn't put all this stuff in front of it so I could see it. That's an interesting detail. Didn't think about. It's good. I think it'll turn out good. We just got some figuring out to do. Still. I don't hate that the tower is a little bit more attached to the front now. Oops. It's one of these gonna look weird. The quarter ash blocks are very convenient, but they're also kind of weird. They don't always look the best. That's not bad, but they don't like line up amazingly well. And they made they like shrunk the wall instead of rebuilding it when they made the texture. So it's like slightly smaller, if you can see. Maybe it looked weird the other way, but probably wouldn't be better just to make the texture correct. I think all of the blocks were just shrunken down to the correct size. Which I guess easy way, it works. How'd I forget that little thing? Hello? What are you supporting? Oh, that? Didn't even dodge the assistant manager, I just tanked it. Honestly, the lifesteal trinket I have, you can do that with a lot of things. Not necessarily the new bosses, but a lot of things. Honestly, this wasn't even quite how I was thinking this was going to look. When I was making it earlier. Or thinking through the idea. Thought this was going to come out way more. But I kind of like that it like just angles in. It's interesting. And these might just end up as like sap sconces, but time to lurk. I got a lot to build. Sounds good, knife. No worries. Lifesteal is OP. Yeah, it's really good. It's good in regular fights, not really the boss fights, unfortunately. If you could get a lifesteal increased healing with like a damage up, that would be a really good trinket. That would suit my playstyle very well. Smash my face against it until it works. That looks kind of funny though. What if we did every other? Is that weird? I wish they had more stuff like this as well, like patterning. Because I have fun. It's like a great little detail that you can't really get otherwise. I actually like this a lot so far. Still lots to figure out, but it's heading in the right direction. Can't waste these either. Nano machine, son, the assistant manager, huh? These, God, what? Sees my HP. What the? What's happening? How'd he do that? His power is over 9,000. Guess I don't need that. Did I forget the one on the other side too? Yeah, can't be wasting these. That's a whole ash cement for those little stinkers. Oh, and I have all these ones. I don't even have them all over here. What am I doing? Whoa. Place. And after I mess around with this for a little while and want a break, we'll planning on doing the Java-matic defense. I beat the Mantis off stream out of frustration. I was getting literally owned. Even switched to mild and was just like getting destroyed. Both out of lack of skill and really bad RNG for all of the infusions that it was getting. It was not enjoyable. I remember Fancy struggling with the Mantis too, though, so. Mild, do you need it on New Game Plus 4? I think so. At least for the bosses. I think I'll be fine with, like, regular things, but the bosses, I'm like, eh. I'm not too ashamed to play on mild once it gets too far. That is something I feel like they need to think about with some more of this rebalancing stuff. Is that's a fun little roof detail. Do that right here, can't I? A red worker ant almost killed you. Does that look better or no? I'm not sure if it's adds enough detail for me to want to spend more ash on it. Reaper high timber builds. The builds are coming along very nicely. Thank you. Glad you're liking them so far. I'm having fun with them so at this point, especially now that I can build again. It's just sitting here all weekend. I mean, I was gone most of the weekend, but every time I came home, I was just like, I just want to build. I'm getting ideas. I hate missing out on ideas. So. Okay. Would it be better to just do that, though? Maybe not. Forgot that this is the... This is what we're doing over here. That might just look weird. Why am I not using these ones? Reduce, reuse, recycle, y'all. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I think it does need to be one of these things. Yep. And then that. Did they fix the building? Yes, they did. It is all good to go now. Everything seems to be working as intended. I have a feeling that when they messed with the mantis, I'm not a coding expert by any means, but I have a feeling when they were messing with the mantis arena, they must have somehow turned off permissions in other areas when they didn't mean to. It's like the only way I can think they could have done it. Because it's like, it was everything next to large, so the pagoda was one space, the sandbox, and they were messing with the mantis, so like a large asset. So they may have just turned some weird setting or like increased the boundaries of things, is my best guess, and it accidentally, they overlooked the fact that they did it to all of the big things, not just the one big thing they were messing with. So much ash cement to get back. Look at all this. But either way, it's fixed now, so that's all that matters. That's correct. This... Excuse you? What? Rude? That's right. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I couldn't build anywhere from the back of this building over, like, all the way up these stairs. I couldn't build from there all the way to the front, like, ramp there. Everything else I could build on for some reason. It made no sense. And then, like, I could build over there, but I couldn't build anywhere down here. It was very weird. And then it would, like, if I built, like, separately from this grid and just try to do this, that would work. But if I tried to build over that same exact spot on the grid, it wouldn't work. It was really weird. Very interesting glitch. Not sure how they did that one. But I'm quite happy it's fixed now. Oh. That's probably gonna stop. Will it? It probably wants to be these blocks. That might be kind of cool. But like die into that. And then I guess I need floors to place those. Does it want to be one lower? Could move those up. I don't know if I can actually, no. Actually, probably want these all to line up, don't I? So they'd have to go, I guess, I mean, I could always move this one, I guess, at the same time. So that's one higher, I think. No crazy, right? Unsure. Nope. I like that it dives into that specific piece, though. That looks nicer than the other way around. Let's just see what happens. Okay. The lovely. Guess that's just gonna go in and won't even see it. So yeah, I guess that works. That right there, that condition I just created, I had someone ask why I use half blocks all the time. This condition specifically is why I think I just always do it. It's a very niche condition that doesn't necessarily happen all that often. But if you don't use a half wall there, you can't place this inside that wall. If you use half walls, you can always place floors within the walls anywhere. Less, yeah, it's pretty important these days. Now I can build the infinite water tower, the same one as See-Through built on his channel about a year ago. Nice. Yeah, I have one of those in my pagoda base. Different design, but same idea. Change that design. So I can get this at the right height. I wouldn't hate this being at this height. Yeah, that's just gonna work better. Look at these. Nice little half vertical wall. Love to use them. Great addition. Let me go get all these materials so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Sir, that isn't how the physics in this game work. They still have a few issues, but they had that beforehand. I can snap to grid with ovens and beds and chests now. Nice. Was that something it wasn't allowing you to do with the glitch that was happening? I had a couple weird things. I gotta go check if I can place a couple chests that I was using randomly last night. They weren't going, but they might now. Like half of them placed and the other half didn't want to for some reason. That hasn't even existed ever. Ovens? Yeah, it has. You want some? What? Why did my weapon go away? %100% ovens. Ton of pee. Yeah, you could always, every item like that can snap to grid. I've never had any issues with it. That's how I placed every oven in this base over here. I did it 2 months ago or something. I've always done this. See, right there. Maybe it wasn't working for some people. It's very possible. Yeah, I always place these. Like everything. And like this bed. I always place them weird though, so I guess I don't typically use the grid all that often, but that was how I would place these ones all evenly. That's why they're all perfectly lined up. I'd never be able to do that without the snap grid. It would look horrible. That's how I know I use the snap grid, because I never would have lined them up properly without it. Feels so good to be able to work on this base finally. Such a buzzkill not being able to work on it the last week. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these, honestly. I think they look better doing something like keep it simple. This base is going to really start coming to life once I start working all the lighting and stuff. That's a fun detail. This actually feels much better. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Heading in the right direction. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Dang it. Oy vey. Okay, so I could just move it down, I guess. The other one's up, isn't it? Can't move it up though, because then I can't get into it. I can change it back to how it was. Could do... I guess that could be kind of fun, I think. Set it like half stairs. I don't hate that actually. That could be kind of fun, a fun detail. Keep the whole thing interesting so it's not like a perfect circle around. I like that. That's a good idea. So it's got to go down. Yeah. That's gonna get weird though, isn't it? They definitely are missing a couple floor pieces now, sadly. I think would be very helpful. I mean, they just really need the like quarter floors. Right. Yeah, that's right. Excuse you? What? Why? There. It's like if this doesn't place, I'm gonna lose it. Now I can put my triangle back in, right? Yeah. Make a fun pattern there or something. Question is this visually too low? That's the question. Or is this gonna look good? Doesn't need to be like a massive entrance, I don't think. Wish I just had like wood, like the door frames. Like this, but just this side piece, and then like an angled piece, so I could like outline doors and stuff a little bit more custom. It's looking pretty interesting. Definitely got more of the detail that I was looking for. Was originally going to have everything pop out, but I kind of like that everything like sets back even further now with like this angled block. I haven't really done that in any other builds, so it's kind of interesting. Did makes room for one of these little triangles that I never use. I can find it. Ah, oop. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh. Keep scrolling past it. Those don't meet very well. It's also too much ash cement. What am I doing? That was supposed to be mushroom. No wonder it looks so bad. How many blocks was that? 4? 4 mushroom for that? What? Not that I like mind, but it's a lot of mushroom for that little piece. Okay. That's starting to look kind of cool. I need like a something. What a ripoff? What are you talking about? These? Is that what you're talking about? I think, do I want like an armor dummy? Or like a... Could be an armor dummy. That's not gonna work. Could be kind of cool. Timber. These ones? Oh, sorry. I'm an idiot. Sorry, you were saying because I was literally complaining about the price of them. Yeah. Why is he like leaning? Why am I not using this part of the... Guess he stands up straighter like that? Yeah, my bad, Reaper. I made the joke and then wasn't even paying attention to the fact that I said it first. Now what kind of armor would go on there? That's the question. And do we build a red carpet the whole way? That might be interesting to use in there, actually. It's been a long day, man. It's good. It's nice getting some of the Discord stuff done with velocity. Yeah, that's not it. Ah, for when it's Christmas, we'll just put some wreaths in there. These are all too big. Wendell head. You can't tell me that's not flat. He's too little. None of those are gonna work. They're too small or too big. Can't talk. Ooh. Something like this work? Too big. We could do something else cool. Like, he's gonna look dumb. Might be too big. Interesting concept, though. I also don't have any black ant parts. Because I'm a goofball and I didn't dupe them. Can you put a half wall in there and put his head on the wall? I don't understand the question. Or the... Can't visualize that. It's kind of weird that like one antenna sticks out. They're like slightly too big too. I like the idea of it, but they're just slightly too big, I think. it works just because it's like three different kinds. I do like that though. Tempting. Just do the House of the Bee. So derpy. Only the wall mounts would really work. Most of them are too weird. There's nothing that really fits the theme of the build. Might just be armor dummies. Oh, Dr. Tully, he's too small, unfortunately. Doesn't quite have the a big enough effect. Kind of cool. I'll have to look at it for a little while and see which effect I like most. Like, that's gonna look better with armor on it too, though. Like posed. Sounds good, Fancy, no worries. Probably that. That's actually a good one too. I have armor, don't I? Not cool enough though. Needs to be something even cooler. Like a boss armor? I think it's got to be a boss armor or something. It's the fine details like this that really bring it to life. What about the Ant-Man? You mean... that thing? Or the Mant? The, this thing? Or you're saying with the coal? Braziers, that's what they are. I think they're gonna be, yeah. I don't think there's quite enough space. He's not gonna be happy. Too big. Close. I think the little, I mean, I guess I could have it sitting there. Or apparently it just floats on the wall. It's kind of zen. Funny enough. Could always, oh, only goes up half, interesting. Got food, nice. It's kind of funny. The half wall wouldn't have actually worked anyways. It looks like that, but the half walls sit up all so high. Because this is the windowsill. My brain was like, oh, it'll just clip right there, but no. It's weird because it floats. I don't know how I feel about that. The armors could be really cool with like the right armor set. I just don't know what the armor set is. That armor set is. It's kind of fun. They're slightly small, but it's like a good window size. I don't know. The pictures are an interesting idea too, but I don't know how I feel about them yet. Oh. Wondering, I was like, what is coming through here? Things I don't need. It's coming together though. It's getting better and better each little edition. want to do... Continue these? Don't know. Technically, they would go down one more. If I was keeping with the same pattern, then I'd have this. I think I might like it changing, being slightly different at the bottom. Not continuing that pattern, actually. Like its own pattern, maybe. Does part of it work? It's not horrible. I can't get rid of any of these, though. I have to work with those as is, or it won't go back to that wall. Needs more depth in this bottom area. Columns aren't quite enough. They're not bad. They feel thin, you know? I have done this in my other base before. Sort of like, oh, actually, it's tempting. Is, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Oh, are you not gonna? Can't place them there? Really? What? That'd be a good little detail. Can't twist them or anything. Really? That's so surprising that that's considered unsupported. Bummer. I feel like that would look cool. Like using these as like a bottom plinth. Feel a little stocky doing it that way. A little too short. They feel like they need something though. I mean, what's that one supporting? That's just floating. I wonder if this needs to be ash cement. Might help with the little bit more detail. Should I do like this whole thing? It's the vertical ones. Get out of the way. Does feel more like a door, for sure. Mushroom's just a little too bland. Meh. It's like, am I getting rid of those? Yep. Currently clearing all glass near the grill and anthill so I can efficiently farm spiky burrs. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. It works very well. It also makes it really easy to find the scarabs, which is nice. While we're over here. I mean, I'd call it the grill in between the grill and the termite mound. Decent drop. Finally. I feel like I keep getting 25. And I'm like, what? 25's horrible. Lousy drop. Not quite time. Back to work. Yeah, needs more something. Just doesn't feel. Columns feel like they're floating too much. Just feel too lightweight, I guess, is more what I'm trying to say. I'm here, I was playing Diablo 4 with my stepdad. Nice, crazy. Sounds like a good time. How are you not burning yourself without antlion armor? Because I'm in the handy nat currently. But you don't need it. You just need one of these trinkets. Once you get one of those, oh yeah, because I was over in the grill, duh. The sizzle immunity trinket. It's broken. It literally makes the termite armor worthless. You don't even need to use that crappy armor anymore. I used to carry that around with me everywhere I went, and then I made a little building specifically to house it so I could always go and get charcoal because I use so much of it. And then they added sizzle immunity in the New Game Plus. You can get them on crinkles as well. That's all you really need. I got one on the waffle, so I might as well use it on the waffle, right? Yeah, it's so nice. So now I carry one trinket instead of, because you had to set it up. You had to have termite armor to get like the best resistance. You need termite armor, an insulating larva spike, and to use fresh defense, and you still would burn over time. It still wasn't like good. And that makes it a lot easier. What if I did, oops, like, it's essentially the same thing. What I want to do. I like the angle better anyways. Yeah. Some of all these columns just, they aren't working. It's not horrible. Great little addition they made with those though. Opens the space up a bit more, which is kind of nice. I want the entrance to feel slightly bigger than it currently does, without actually making it bigger. Yeah, the angle looks good. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Trying to find a happy medium between the two. Easier said than done. Why are none of you being supported properly? Game. I don't understand. It's not the end of the world, but it's also slightly annoying. Yeah, the angle just looks better. I don't hate that this is coming out. Is it like that then? Way bigger. I could change the whole back area then. So many options, it's hard to decide. That's maybe a little bit better. I'm about to go put my dog in the closet. I'm gonna wake my son up barking. Ugh. Yeah, it fits with the building better for sure. That's maybe this instead. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Just sitting AFK on Diablo as a necromancer, letting my summons just kill everything. The necromancer looked absolutely busted when I was originally watching, like when it very first released. I was watching Shroud. He was just destroying everything without even trying. I think See-Through played a necromancer for a little while as well. It's too passive of a playstyle for me, though. I've never really liked... Might just be cleaner. Yeah. I've never been able to, like, sit back. Like, I use the wizard build on this, but I use it like an idiot in Grounded. I don't, like, use it in the way it probably should be used. I'm just ridiculous with it. And I face tank everything with lifesteal now. But I hate sitting around. Like, I don't have the patience for it, typically. Like in Diablo 3, I played a monk, and it was like an on-hit monk build, and it just... Literally, all you had to do was press the mouse button as fast as you possibly could. I guess you could hold it. I think I had it on hold. But it was literally, it just TP'd me to... it's been so long, I can't remember any of the abilities, but it TPs you on every attack. And so it was so ridiculous, because then you just like stand there and spam. And it would set off a bunch of different abilities every hit and give you massive amounts of healing. So you literally couldn't ever die. It was like impossible to die. It was so good. But it was that like face tank damage build. It's the only way I seem to be able to play. This is exactly what I'm currently trying to do in Grounded, is find really good lifesteal trinkets, because they're just too fun. And the more you get your milk molars up with the increased healing and then the max health, it just scales exponentially. So you just heal massive amounts. Oh, I wish the triangles would go on an angle. Just a couple triangles in here would look good. Wonder... Go in your own. Maybe make a couple stripes. Can't decide. Oops. Might help it. I don't know. I kind of like the frame around it though. It's hard. Tough decision. Maybe if Vascular, hey, I love your pagoda build and I'm taking a lot of inspiration from it. Quick question about your burr farming. If you destroy the roots of the grass, does the grass stop growing, or did you stop it? Yes, if you chop the lower, like the stump that's left, all grass will not grow back. Just like I've done here. Weed stems and burrs always grow back, though, no matter what you chop down. So you can chop the whole thing down for these, and they'll always respawn. Grass and dry grass, when you destroy the stump, are destroyed forever. And glad you like the pagoda base. If you're not currently... keep forgetting to copy this before stream. If you're not part of the Discord, and you want help building the pagoda base in any way, shape, or form, or you just want to post your ideas, that is a awesome place to do it. There's probably 10 or more people currently working on the pagoda base that are all kind of like helping each other out. Also build something on it if you don't want it to grow back. If you just destroy the stump, it won't grow back no matter what. Technically, like, the weed stems are not guaranteed. They can grow back. And like mushrooms and stuff as well. I have a few of them growing like through my stairs. Down here somewhere. Like the mushroom grows through. But if you just cut the stump, it's even easier. No, none of them did. Here you go. If you want to get rid of weed stems, I guess, but I like keeping as many of those as I can. Not that I ever really use weed stems, I guess, though. Be better if it lined up at the top, though. Makes me not want to do it. How do you come up with your build ideas? Hard to say the specifics. Like, how did I come up with... Originally, the pagoda, I saw someone... I would say, like, the easiest thing is precedence. And if you don't quite... It's an architectural term that I was used in a lot, like, for art school and architecture school that I was in. Just look up other ideas. One, look up base tours. That helps a lot, just for in, like, the different ways you can use the materials and stuff in the game. And then I tend to, like, if I want to build a castle, I look up a castle just on Google and find something that I think's interesting. Or I look up, like, this was like a church sort of build. I just looked up some churches, and randomly I just built a section of this wall out to test an idea that a buddy had done with these foundations. And I just wanted to build something with it. So, like, this one started because of a specific interaction with the materials that someone figured out that told me that I should try out, and that's how this build came together. I wanted on this, I was just like, it'd be cool to build a castle and, like, rebuild the sandcastle as a build series. And then specifically, like, how I came up with the different ideas, I looked up King's Landing from Game of Thrones, and that's sort of how I'm designing this city. I mean, it's different, of course, but the idea was that there's a large castle, there's some buildings with, like, some fun supports and stuff, there was a church off to the side, and there's a big cathedral in that city. And they're sort of, like, across from each other in the city. Everything's on a much smaller scale than in that, and you kind of work with what the map gives you. But overall, it tends to be just, like, look up an idea, and then, like, this started out as the rough shape, where I just built out these sort of, like in Minecraft, where you just lay it out, the shapes on the ground, just a couple blueprints. So I just did the bottom layer until it looked like the correct shape, and then I just built up, and then slowly sort of, I kind of treat it like sculpting, I guess, where I try to tuck things away, like push and pull and, like, remove materials. So it started out as just this bottom shape all the way up, and then I was like, well, what if I make an angle, and then what if I bring them in, and what if I use a different material, what if I put in, like, a cool statue. I'm on grounded instance. I don't have another one set up where I'd show you my precedent image that I used, but, like, I look up the idea and then I just kind of replicate it as close as I can. Of course, it's always going to look slightly different, but, like, the towers of the build I was looking at had, like, a statue roughly in the wall like this. And so I figured out a way to do that with what grounded gives you. And that's just sort of how I slowly do it. And then I just sit here and I build a wall out, sort of like this side where it just starts flat and there's a rough opening. And then sometimes it just sort of like, I slowly add material to the outside. I build out the inside, how sort of roughly the size I want, and then I just build layers outwards to sort of come up with the different ideas and just mess with the different materials. Until stuff like this happens and it starts to look cool, and I like it, and then we just keep going and have fun with it. A lot of it just comes to redoing things over and over and over again too, till they just work the way I want them to. I usually just start placing things and rearranging them 1,000 times until I'm satisfied. Yeah, that's pretty much, like, these towers just started off as ash cement with an angled wall, just like this, of mushroom. And then I didn't like it, so I started doing that effect, where that's just triangles. It's hard to see. You can see it here too. It's just triangle walls on the angle, because the wall itself's built on an angle the same way. I started placing those, and I was like, it looks too similar. The tower just looked like this. And I was like, well, I want to do something different. And I hadn't messed with the vertical walls, so I just kind of started the half vertical walls. And then I put them in, just sort of like messed with the angles here until I liked the little shape it created and the amount of detail. Same, like this just started off as a flat wall, and I just started adding pieces to it till it looked cool. Today I feel really old. Someone asked me, what is a VHS tape? I mean, dude, I grew up when the internet was just starting, and like people used MySpace and stuff, so. How do you think I feel? Do you have enough mega builds to do like a world tour? I mean, I just have this and then my pagoda base. If you haven't seen this, my YouTube has base tours of this base and the other base. This is my main other base currently, but it's really just those two for like in terms of mega builds. I have a lot of random like little stuff or like places where I've built to make life more convenient collecting materials, but these are the only like bases I have. I say only, they're pretty ridiculously big, so. But if you haven't seen my YouTube before, I have some base tours of each base specifically, and I have like a build video on how I built that, and all the different ideas that I've gone through. And there's been like updates to the pagoda base one as well. And I have a couple build episodes where I just was like building and talking, working on like this section and doing, I have a video, I haven't posted it yet, I have to finish editing, but building this whole tower was an episode that I just haven't edited yet. Stairs in front of the sand pit look awesome. This one? Is that what you were saying, Reaper? Definitely happy with how this whole thing's turning out. I still have to figure out the two sides. I have an interesting idea for there too with these angled walls that I think could be cool. I think the front's starting to look interesting though. I have to decide on what those are going to be. And you plan to do a tutorial for the pagoda base? Yes, I do. After I finish this next video up, I think that's probably going to be the next video I make. I have a top 10 build tips video I'm currently working on. I'm hoping to have finished in the next day or two. And then from there, I am most likely going to do the pagoda base thing. Build tutorial and walk people through. At least, it probably won't be like a full tutorial of like building out the insides and everything, but just the basics, getting all the, dang it, I keep doing it. Getting the basic walls all placed. Dude, the struggle. Kept not clicking it fast enough. Oh, the end of the sand? Yeah. Yeah, I have a whole idea for outside of this base as well. That fits a little bit better, honestly. I don't hate that. Very interesting. So these ones, yeah, these will be fun to finish off. But eventually, all these walls are going to come out and go over the edge. It probably won't cover up this stuff, but I thought it was fun. So I might build these all the way down around the eyes, and then there's like a little lookout area that I have to finish building here too. I don't know if it'll be like stairs all the way around the whole entire thing, but I want to cover almost as much of it as I can. It might end up as just like come out and be flat walls eventually, if we ever get that far. There's so much. I still have to build everything that is in between here and here is going to be like houses and markets and stuff. So there's going to be huge, like a bunch of different houses and like an entire city. I just haven't started any of the layout of that. But like there'll be a big town square here, a market, be houses, a big house here, sort of I thought through. That's one I kind of thought through. Houses all the way through here. This will be sort of like a weird market sort of area. This is sort of the idea of like a little amphitheater or something. And then there might be like market stands throughout these areas. And then either like a really nice housing district up here, or maybe this is where the market goes. I don't know yet. And then this is a with the like oasis is going to be like a bathhouse sort of design that I've just been sort of fleshing the idea out little by little. And then we'll just have fun in here and see what happens. I have some like precedent images that I've looked up that I think will be really interesting, but I have a lot to figure out in here. I started laying it out and then was like, okay, I'm gonna build this monstrosity. Go really crazy. I've had the idea for this cathedral for 6 months or something, but wanted to finish all of this stuff. Get the designs and everything figured out for these towers and the church, and then this was like the next really big build in the area. And then from there, it's just going to be making tons of houses and stuff, which I think will be pretty fun. I have some cool ideas for those. I'm not totally sold on this bottom, but it is starting to look kind of cool. I'm definitely liking where it's headed so far. It's just this outer part that I'm not like loving. It's not bad. Like I like that these feel now that they're like sort of, there's a design around them, a little bit more intention to it. These ones just don't quite feel it yet. This is how it typically goes. So just kind of mess around with stuff until it works. Little after little, I'll just go and leave it. Like, that's not working for me. Well, I'll just go work on a different part of the base for a little while. See what happens. I like how everything above the little balcony's looking. I feel like I want the balcony, but I don't know if they need the balcony. Maybe it just needs to be smaller and just use these ones. Cantilever it a little bit. What if these just weren't here? They don't necessarily need to be there for structure. It's not a big enough, it's not gonna look ridiculous. It's not a big enough cantilever. Honestly, it's better without it. I like the two in the back though. So I want to use those in some way, shape, or form. Wonder if it's too much. Of course, it's gonna be one off too. Not horrible. You want to put the dummies in the market when you finish building it, like the base tour you did a few days ago. Oh yeah, Iterative. That's the plan. The idea is to make like actual buildings. So like a blacksmith with weapons and a food market with all the fresh storage and like a weaponsmith, all sorts of different buildings and stuff. If we get to that level, who knows? But yeah, I would like, I mean, I've done part of it. I'd say part of the inside of the castle has been done. Nowhere near enough. But like, that's the idea, is like, I'm gonna place a bunch of sentries and stuff around, guarding different things. But it's very expensive. So I'm saving all those details for last. But like this idea I got specifically from Luterav's bases. He gave me this one and was like, dude, do it. So I made like a wizard's... The wizard's tower has wizards at the top doing some weird ritual thing. But the stuff really starts to come to life when you put that kind of detail in it. Some of it's just like stairs and nothing crazy, but like there's an actual throne room in here with a couple little characters, nothing too crazy. But starting to get the details figured out as we slowly do things. And as I come up with new random interior ideas. That's where I struggle the most, is the interior design. So I thought this would be a good little challenge to push myself. When you're using the handy net, do you get unlimited materials, or does it use the materials? It uses the materials within chests near the character. So like currently, if I want to build a wall, I have that many mushrooms because they're all in count them almost out. They're all in there. But if I go anywhere where I'm not close enough to access them with my character and I want to build, I'm not in range of it. So as long as your character is within range, the handy net will pull from chests. That's why I mean, you don't have to use the teleporter to get out here, but that's what I build a base. Like that's what the whole back area of this is like the functional portion of the base. So I can continue to build and stuff, and I'll build this out as like a cool laboratory or something and make it even better as we go. But I haven't really figured that idea out either. Kind of like it a little more simple. There's so much detail going on in this base already. I don't want to like overwhelm it. It's good to know because the handy net is really good. I thought it was unlimited, so I haven't been using it. Nope. Yeah, like I still have to go collect all the materials for these builds. But the handy net is an absolute lifesaver. And like the interior of this build is going to look like a crazy cathedral thing with all sorts of weird stuff going on. And then it's going to have a lower crypt area filled with explosives. Oh, yeah, I forgot I was working on the inside of this too. This isn't how I want this to look, but it looks too much like a claw toy from the arcade games. But I want to mess with some big chandelier in here. Like massive chandelier. I was so inspired by Luterav's space tour that I was like, I need a chandelier. And this is like the perfect base to have a massive chandelier in at this point. It'll look really cool. Probably build these before I forget and run out of charcoal. I wish you could invert these. I could make a ramp the other way. Can't believe his world is mind-blowing, right? I'd probably be... I don't have the background stories that he does behind my builds. I have little bits of those thoughts, but he is on a whole different level of like... we didn't even hardly get into some of the backstories that he's got going for that world. He's got... It's so crazy. That's the perk of building in custom. The builds he does and the amount of builds, I couldn't collect the materials fast enough. But they are so good. Whose world were you getting inspo from? Luterav's. I just posted a base tour for only like 1.5 builds that he's worked on currently. He's got an entire world. He's got a mega build. So he builds in custom because he builds with like, he makes actual stories. He has all these like, a lot of it's based off of Lord of the Rings, as like a backstory behind many things of it. And then he has kingdoms, and so each mega build is a different kingdom using a different like armor set in the game for like those are the people, and it is mind-blowing how many crazy things he's had. And like my bases are very, for the most part, very symmetrical and simple. His bases are like so intricate and crazy. They are like, he's just the maze of like little secret pathways and stuff he has built into it. It's so crazy how much stuff he has going on in that build. Insane. Yeah, it's nuts. He's got crazy, like, he's got a crazy face over here. He has this face built on there that like the haze like spits out of. That is a freaking epic little build. He's got this ash kingdom that's all ash cement that looks horrifyingly cool. He's got a new build that's going on here that he hasn't finished yet. He has a koi pond build for the koi city. The base tour is over here on top of the rock wall of those. He has a hedge world and like hedge build that is also at the end of that, which he finished up the lighting on, and that thing is so cool. It doesn't even, it's like there's nothing even going on. It's like this thing inside the hedge with all this crazy lighting. It uses the same effect that I used. I inspired him. I like stacked a ton of sap sconces on top of each other on angled pieces, and he took that idea and said, bet I can do it cooler. I just loved like the glow effect that this gives with all of these, and he did it with all these different colors with like these crazy arms, sort of like this. Sort of like what I was showing on the chandelier, and like all, it looks like a glowing spider in the hedge. It's so cool, and it makes it even look crazier than I ever thought it. My stuff was gonna look with that lighting. It's all different colors and stuff. It looks so cool. Such a good build. And then he's building an Ant Queen world up by the Java-matic. He's got like a Hobbit world. Little Hobbit houses outside of the hedge that we didn't cover at all. There's so many things we didn't even touch. He's done a couple of base tours. If you haven't ever seen See-Through, if you check out See-Through's channel, he doesn't play Grounded anymore, but he did for a long time, and he was the original person who did base tours. And then he started playing other games, so I have taken up the mantle of trying to do base tours for people that are interested, that have cool builds, stuff they want to show off to the world. That's how I got started in content creation, is in YouTube specifically. I did a base tour with See-Through, and the video has 160,000 views now, and he's like, dude, just start making recordings. Like, just build and record. And it's evolved over time. But that's how I got started, was from one of those base tours. It gave me a very good start. That base tour is why I have 1,000 subscribers already on this channel. Yes, they're cool. Cool bases help, but that base tour is what got me my legs. And Luterav's base is one of those that like needs to be shown off way more. It doesn't. His videos did pretty good on See-Through's channel, but they deserve 100,000 views easy. and I definitely would like to emulate the ideas that he has going with all the different like backstories and stuff in the builds. Also helps gives a little purpose to everything, which I like purpose and reasoning behind making certain decisions. This does need to be a full-size stair now. I'm okay with that though. It'll be cool. Hey, how do you do that? Yeah. Oh, you can't place those sideways though. They're angled. I just have to do that. So it doesn't feel like it's floating. Be better if these angled, but they do not. Ugh. One functionality I really wish was in the game. That would be a very good one. I'd be very happy if they added that eventually. Hey. Oh my gosh. I hate when it does that. Doesn't even make sense. Dang it. I'm gonna have to send them a video of that after the... If anybody wants to clip that for me, that would be awesome. Because the devs need to fix the building integrity. Specifically, this, like, things are being supported for no reason. And everything can fall randomly. Like, they're not supporting anything, but, oh, if you build one random blueprint for some reason, it'll break all of these. Actually, now I can't even destroy these. Crap. It's gonna do the same thing. Oh, dang it. I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? Can I move it? No. Dang it. It's so dumb. Bummer. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know why it works that way too. I can't imagine why a blueprint is breaking something that's built. Doesn't make sense. That would have been a great one to address with today's update. Yeah, that is a suggestion for anyone that's currently building, is just don't delete things really fast. Look and see if it's supporting something, because it actually will be. And then we'll be able to like underlight all of this flooring too, similar to the way Iterative did his. It'll look epic. I've never used this flooring style too. A ton of people have already done this one. But it's always looked so good, I was like, I need to find a good base to use this in. Because it doesn't really work in any other bases that I've built so far. But this one seems like a perfect fit. Wonder how he sleeps at night with all those ideas running through his head. Where to build next, dude, right? Hold on. I mean, like, when I get ideas, I have an entire, like, note, a massive note section on my phone that I, just write ideas down as soon as they come into my head. And that seems to be a good way to deal with things. Otherwise, I'll forget about all my good ideas and get frustrated. Dude, why? Why? Dang it. I have quite a few ideas that I still want to build in this game. Some pretty cool ideas, I think. Sandbox is definitely my favorite so far. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Does this work here? Could be kind of cool. Never found a good use for these. This would be a really cool little detail, like a banding around. Oh, actually, and it covers the floor, dual purpose. Oh, that looks great. Did like one of these, or like a triangle. It's not horrible, actually. I actually love that I'm using those. I've never seen anyone use these like effectively in a build before. They're such a random piece because they only go on the outside of curves, and like how often are you going to use like a shelf on the outside of a curve or something? Ooh, I'm a fan. I like that. I also want to use some of these in the build somewhere, but I wish weed stems could grow in planters. I thought the same thing, honestly. I am surprised that they didn't just add that one in. Honestly, my biggest suggestion currently to the devs, in terms of like, if they never do any other build stuff, they never do it. I can't, not much you can do about it, since they're not doing any more like updates. I don't know what if they consider like blueprints quality of life updates or not. That's a hard one to know, what they consider that. And it would just be filling out the rest of the, I'd call it like a catalog of pieces. So like they have mushroom pillars. They have, let's go look at it. They got all these. But why don't they have like an ash cement one? Sorry, my brain was all over the place there. Like just to make an ash cement one. At the same time, like this is a great window for like certain situations, but like it doesn't work in a lot of other ones. And same with the like the weed stem ones and the mushroom ones. So you can barely see them. The mushroom ones are way too small. Just make a wall of each option. So like make a mushroom brick, that's a big window like this, and make a weed stem window, that's a big window like this, and make a mushroom window, that's a bigger one. Like those would be really good little additions where it's like all it is changing a texture. The wall doesn't need to be like reinvented at that point. They're just little things that aren't in the game. A triangle foundation piece instead of just the curved triangle one. Little things like that, and the building would be, you wouldn't need another material. You'd have everything you could ever hope for. Just a couple more window styles, a couple pieces that are only offered in a few options for some reason. Like exactly I think the mushroom pillar for an ash cement pillar is the perfect example of like it just makes sense at this point. I wish they would add all varieties of buildings. Yeah. Just every single piece and everything you can think of. Did it go away? Yes. Ha! Put it over here. Rude. Oh. I mean, as much as I'd love a new material or whatever, like that would be enough for me to be extremely happy. That would add a huge amount of stuff to the game, even though it's not that many pieces. Didn't do the middle one. Don't like this as much. You're gonna love building an Enshrouded? Yeah. At some point, I'm definitely gonna build. I think I'm gonna pick. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do it yet. Just because I currently have a lot of grounded people and they're still making updates and stuff, so I want to play grounded for as long as I can. But as little things change, as viewership goes down a little bit here and there for grounded, and people get more and more interested in other games, I think I'm gonna pick like a specific night of the week to do like mega building. Like tonight, if they didn't do this update, I was gonna be playing Subnautica, which is a game I love, and I am excited to play in a couple different games. And Enshrouded's one of them. Since it's still in early access, there's still so much that can be done, and it's still going to be added to the game that I'm very excited about. Watched from the beginning until now. I didn't comment anything because I didn't have a translator, but have a good night. I'll watch until I fall asleep. Awesome. Hey, man. No worries for not commenting. Thanks for hanging out either way. Appreciate the viewership. Hope you have a great rest of your night as well. I can't decide if I want to do... I'm actually tempted to see what this looks like. Oops. One more. This looks cool on the floor. Like, it's not gonna like those. I didn't think it would. Might be too annoying. Not sure if that's worth it. It's also a lot of lint. And white fuzz. Ugh. Iron Man? It's Sark, not Stark. That was floating. So I guess... Oh, I can't build those, though. So why leave that? Do this. Take these into the corner. Duh. Don't know why I didn't do that sooner. I don't think I need those pieces anyways, right? Yeah, I literally can't even see them. Let's go. Duh. This is why I love building with depth. It's a big concept that I'm part of. That's currently what I'm working on editing in the top 10 build tips video I'm working on. It's the harder, one of the harder things to explain with good footage behind it. But depth. Don't just build a building with one wall. No building in the history of anything has one, unless it's just like a big concrete wall. But like castles and everything have thick, big walls. And in this game, and a lot of other games, honestly, even Minecraft's the same way. Like, you can't build this detail without building depth and layering it in the walls. That's a big concept that helps me build not boring builds. Everything's based off of depth. That's how you get the cool details and little things like this. Makes a huge difference. It takes a little while to understand if you're new to learning the build system. But once you get it figured out, it allows you to build really cool stuff. Depth and lighting. Yep, those are two of the main comments that I'm talking about in that video. It's all about depth and lighting. Makes a very big difference in builds. I suck at that. It's a hard concept to kind of get a hold of in the beginning. It gets easier the more you build, but it's not easy by any means. It's one of those things that the more you play the game and the more you get good at the building mechanics specifically, the easier it is to build like that. But once you just build a too thick wall, I mean, I try to think of everything as like a legit building has an exterior wall, a gap for insulation, and an interior wall. 90% of walls are like that. There's a few things that aren't, but it's pretty rare. And so my goal is always to build as realistically as possible, just because that's what allows the fun details in most building and games. Like Enshrouded's going to work the same way. You just build one little wall, it will not look as interesting. Works a little bit better in that, but like most Minecraft builds are also like use lots of layering to get all of that crazy detail in. Some of the most important things in most building games are games that have building in them. You have to think of things like, it doesn't look as bad with like a mushroom wall, but like a grass building, most of them look horrible because they're one wall thick. And that's the only reason they don't look good, is because they need a second wall, because they feel too flimsy and little. But hard to think in that way for a lot of people. It's not like your natural. I went to architecture school, so I think like that for everything. Just kind of my natural thought process. But it can be learned over time for sure. It's not something that is incredibly difficult at the end of the day. It just takes time. Time and effort, like everything in life. My build, it takes me forever to put things the way I like them. I'm 100% the same way. You guys don't see all my building. Like, a lot of what I do is specifically for stream. I try to get, so like, I was looking at this wall and I was like, something about this is not working for me. Like, I just can't figure out what I want this here. I don't want it to be exactly the same as the front wall. I want the two side walls to be totally different. Using similar ideas, but like the building that I'm looking at as a precedent has like a cool, like, artistic piece built into the wall, and then like some push and pull between it that adds sort of cool details. And I was like, well, it's not enough. This wall feels flat. So then I was like, well, I'll mess with things. And I had the idea of when I made this angled wall over on this side. I started off, I placed a couple blocks and was like, well, now I have an idea to work with on stream, and I'm just going to sit there and play it out and see what happens. Same thing here. I sort of get a rough idea, and then I just sit here and mess with it until it makes sense. But I was like, how cool would this look if we took it out a block? Like, that would add a huge amount of depth to the build. And then all I have to do is come in and continue the idea, of course. Like, it's not by any means done. But like with that, now it's like, okay, so that starts adding more detail. That's interesting. And I can just kind of keep fudging with little things. Pushing and pulling. Like, oh, maybe there's a detail that like now this adds something to here so that part's completed a bit more. Just little things like this. It's just I'm always working through little ideas like this. But it takes, I mean, this roof looks really cool right now. But in the beginning, I just built like a flat wall, flat roof, a flat, sorry, not flat, but yes. I used these here, went all the way across, then I put a floor, then built another thing roughly at that same slope, then another floor, and I was just like, this looks horrific. Like, it doesn't look good at all. And so I remembered this interesting idea that I did over here, so I built a couple of those, and then I just started, I was like, okay, well, spacing needs to slightly change. Because I was like, this requires a very specific spacing. Like, you can't place another one here. So I was like, okay, I could fit two on this side. And so I just copied that little one detail, made those, and then I was like, well, what if I added like a spine to the center? What if I added some more ash cement? What if, and then on the sides, you have to do it slightly differently. And it just started off with this same sort of mushroom detail here going throughout. And then I was like, well, it needs more ash cement. So then I added ash cement, and I just piled things on top of each little piece until it starts looking cool. And then the top was the same sort of thing, like adding little details to get the desired effect. And it's just do it, undo it, do it, undo it. Add a little more detail. Like each one of these towers at one point was built completely individually on its own. So I used that's also something that can help with builds is symmetry. So like I built each one of the towers out roughly, and then I changed details on each one until I found like, okay, this spike detail I like, this mant statue or mant brazier I like, this sort of like inset detail here, something that I liked and enjoyed. And then I had one that looked totally different next to it and one that looked totally different there, and that was different on the top until I picked one idea that I thought looked better than the rest. And you just kind of keep slowly changing and adding things as you go. And a lot of the times it's like this, I build out something and I'm like, I don't know, what the top needs to be, not this flat thing. Like for the most part, what I like about that is you can't see it, so it keeps the shape I want. And I want the detail here of the roof, because I'm gonna put a bunch of lighting inside those and it's gonna look crazy through the chandelier. So I wanted that effect, and so it's just like, okay, if I want some cool lighting, then I just have to do something interesting. And I'm already using this detail on the floor, so on the ceiling seems like a natural progression for that build, and allows for cool lighting, which I found on Luderev's base tour. Made a huge difference, seeing Luderev's base tour and all the way he put lighting inside these columns, and I was like, I want to do that. That looks so good. And so it's just little adding a layer. This wall started off completely flat. I added a layer. Using the vertical half walls is amazing too. I would think of every wall as a flat wall in the front, a vertical half wall, and then another wall parallel, and build at least start every base that way. And then you can add and subtract from there. And it lets you hide a lot of like interesting little details that you couldn't otherwise do. Like this is physically impossible. You can't use the quarter blocks at an angle. They only go on 90 degrees. So like doing this little detail and then adding things sort of like creates the idea that that's a piece that you can't actually use. That's what the pagoda base does a ton of as well. And the roof looks awesome. Thank you. I'm really happy with how the roof turned out, because if you go back to the video or the stream where I originally started on it, it looked horrific, like so bad. It was the worst thing I'd ever built, I think. Building asymmetrical buildings is like wearing my shoes on the wrong feet. Doesn't work for me. Yeah. Like some of my stuff, like you could call that, like in the bigger picture of things, not all my stuff is symmetrical, but I try to use some level of symmetry in everything. Doesn't mean like this base specifically, like that's not a symmetrical build, but like the repetition of things makes building a lot easier. So if you can design interesting small sections and then repeat them over and over, that helps a lot. Actually, I'm gonna write that down. Sorry. One second. I'm just writing a note down for myself. Since I'm working on my top 10 build tips for grounded, tips like that are great little things I can toss in. Handy dandy notebook, yeah. That'll go into my phone later. I just was writing it down on a piece of paper I have. But a lot of my builds, I mean, I think the pagoda is a great example of that as well. Like small details replicated over and over and over again. This base has a lot less details. It's a lot more simple. But designing one face that gets to be repeated over and over again can make things look really cool. Makes life a lot easier. And then you can, from there, add small, like, variations. It's like a lot of the pagoda base is not perfectly symmetrical. The inside looks like the gnat claw from Toy Story, right? That's exactly what it's not going to look like that because of that exact reason. I definitely want to avoid the claw look. I have no clue how that's going to look. We're going to spend a lot of time on that chandelier. I'm going to have to watch Ludorav's Space Tour over and over again because his is really good and this is not. So far, I think I just liked to here. I like this. I don't like this part. Something about this shape is becoming slightly interesting to me. And it also needs mushroom brick, I think, as well. But like the bands and stuff, and then building something out really cool, I think would be I think will look nice. Not sure what that's going to be though. Another time. Hard to say. So, guess I might as well just build all of these out. Continuity. Oops. The claw. Yeah, it's funny. As soon as I built that out, I was like, this literally looks like the claw from Toy Story. Like, what am I doing? Was that funny enough? That's exactly what I was thinking. Will a triangle piece look better here? Ish? Is it better? I don't know. Like, this is why I love Symmetry, though. Because I can sit here, like, I built this out one way. I had this blueprinted out a different way. I had this blueprinted out a different way, and this blueprinted out a different way. And then I can sort of, like, through multiple iterations, because the building... I mean, if you build a square, you build out one wall, and each wall becomes slightly different until you get the desired effect. So that is a very helpful design process that I like to think in. Symmetry's, it tends to be more pleasing to the eye. And even builds like, I mean, this is not a perfectly symmetrical building. A decent amount of it is, but like once you get to the back, like things are not symmetrical because it follows the sandcastle. Certain sides of it aren't perfectly symmetrical, but using symmetry in the details of it allows like adding a tower in like this. The tower has symmetry, but the overall build doesn't have symmetry. So using like specific portions of symmetry can help a lot. And then that allows you to make like a building that's asymmetrical, but has a lot of symmetry in it. And then you just get to repeat life all the time. You keep messing your words up. We can make a 20-minute long world, right? I can't talk. It's been 3 days since I've streamed. I'm getting back into it. I give everyone hope. If I can stream and stumble over my words constantly, everyone can. I'm probably also talking too fast for my own good. Slow down. And my brain can't keep up with trying to build and talking at the same time. I think is part of the issue here. And another one of those. Too many columns. I can't word most days, right? That's why I'm glad I get to email for my job. The vast majority of my day is spent emailing people, so I just get to create really nice, simple emails. I don't have to speak to people all day. But nothing wrong with stumbling over your words, honestly. Everyone does it. I still get the same points across at the end of the day. I've been very much enjoying the stream of Pirate Gaming. I can't remember his exact name. He's a developer that is very interesting to listen to as someone getting into content creation and stuff. Got a lot of interesting concepts on not trying to be perfect and having fun with everything. It's very easy to fall into the trap of trying to be perfect, and it's impossible to be perfect at the end of the day. The lowest standard you can have is perfection, because it's unattainable. It's the way I like to think of it. Oops. Yep, I have no filter. I couldn't stream. I mean, if y'all heard me on a nightly basis, I cuss like a sailor. I have no filter most of the time too. I'm typically the one making my wife feel extremely awkward in situations, just because I like saying dumb things. And I don't really mind sounding like an idiot at the end of the day. Knife, you want to get into streaming? Is that what you're saying? That's all that matters, is getting your words across. Exactly. As long as one person understands me, we're heading in the right direction. Like, do you need the money for a PC, or... This goes further out. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about streaming specifically, but I was recording... My first video has 60... literally the first video I ever made on YouTube hit 60,000 views the other day. And extremely lucky. Is not because I'm a good content creator. It was extremely lucky. Really good timing and a useful video that people were looking for. And I just happened to be the only person who decided to make the video, weirdly enough. But I did that video on a horrible PC that was falling apart. My mic is me breathing the entire time. I had so many people make fun of my breathing in that video because it was so bad. You don't need a good setup. And I streamed with this mic right here. I was doing it, or making videos. I did all my recordings with my headset mic. This mic was like $100, if that. And I only did that just because I wanted something a little bit later down the road. But the first 3 or 4 videos I made were all made on a horrible little setup. You're better off starting and doing things now than waiting if you want to, would be my biggest suggestion. It's really easy to like overthink the whole thing and not do it. And the most important thing is to just do it. The best thing I ever did was just starting with the crappy setup that I had. Because without that video that I made, like, I wouldn't hardly be anywhere currently. I'd still be scratching my head wondering what to do. And although it was great to have like a really nice high viewing video right off the bat, it's like it didn't help me because then I had the mentality of like, well, how do I top that? How do I do better than that? So it's like you just got to start and find your way through it. You'll figure out like how you like editing videos. You'll figure out how you like to structure your videos, what you like to talk about, and then getting a PC, yeah, pre-built. And I have a pre-built currently as well, which I saved up for like a year or two to be able to get to this point. It helps. It makes life easier, but capture card in an Xbox can do this very similar effect. But start learning things sooner than later as well. At least if you're waiting for a PC, try learning. Like I use DaVinci Resolve for all my editing. Free program. OBS is free. Most of the programs you need, luckily, are free, which is really nice. But the sooner you get started, the better. It's amazing how much stuff there is to learn. Shoot, I didn't know you were streaming while I was playing Deep Rock Galactica. I posted to the Discord. I added everyone. And Velocity is going to help me get like a bot put together in the next few weeks to notify everyone automatically when I go live, which should be nice. But glad you're here now. We've just been chilling and building like normal, so nothing crazy. Those. Yeah, the best thing I had going for me was that See-Through was there like pushing me to make content. And he still pops in every once in a while and is like, "What's up, dude?" The other night while he was streaming, he stopped into my stream and was like, "Dude, sick thumbnail." I'm like, "What? Let's go." Streamers watching my stream? How cool is that? I want my ghost nap back. Oh, that's what's going on. The wall. What was I trying to do? That's not the one. Or is it? No, it's not. It's gonna be hard to get out of the way. Get that out of here. I got kind of burnt out for a couple days, so I had to play some other games. I know the feeling. I plan on, once I start getting a little burnt out on building for Grounded, I'm having a lot of fun currently. But that's just because ideas are flowing. And at some point, they're not going to flow anymore. So I'm planning on adding in Subnautica and Shrouded like one day a week, maybe. Once I start getting a little more burnt out on building in Grounded, or I just get stuck on a build, I will start throwing in some other games here and there. Because I still think I could build some really cool stuff in Enshrouded, and I have a base that I want to rebuild for a YouTube video for Subnautica. When Subnautica 2 goes into early access, which I'm assuming is going to be next year. If we're lucky this year. I'll 100% be playing Subnautica 2. Very excited for that. Kind of like the little one better for some reason. It's more fun. But I get burnt out literally all the time. So I either go and build... That's the nice thing about building something this big, like a city compared to just a base, like the pagoda base. I got burnt out on that so many times. Just completely stuck on like what to do next, where to go. And so I would take massive breaks. And so for me, it would be like go gold card hunting. I got all the trinkets. I duplicated all the trinkets, so I had 2 of every single one. Naturally, you can get 2 of every single one really easy now, because the new trinket system is way easier. But like I just took the time to like 100% the game essentially. And for me, that worked really, really well. Kept me very motivated. And I just kind of was able to keep building and building. But taking breaks. That's why I have every gold card and everything in the game. I think the only things I haven't built are the new ant armchairs and the ant queen pieces, essentially. Decor pieces. Other than that, I built. That pagoda base has every single item in the game in it. Like making little challenges and stuff like that is also one way that I was able to keep the passion going. So it's quite easy to get stuck. It's a huge reason that I no longer work for an architecture firm is the burnout of trying to be creative every single day of your life is extremely hard. And that's what being an architect. It was really fun. There were days where it was really fun. There were days where it was miserable, though. Like you're just stuck and you have no clue what to do. Made for very long days. And the days were already long because it was architecture. So I was working until 12 and struggles. Funny enough, the day that broke it for me was my boss was a 55-year-old man, and I came into the office at 7 in the morning because we were working on this crazy deadline, and he had slept under his desk. And I'm like, why would I ever want to spend the rest of my life doing something like that? Am I really that interested in this concept of like design to the point where I would be willing to sleep under my desk to meet a deadline for a client? Like, no, I think I'm good. Got to enjoy it, but it's very hard to be that creative all the time. Yeah, under the desk. I literally walked into a 55-year-old man that was asleep under his desk. It's like, because I was one of the first people, I guess it was probably like 6:45 that I came in. So I was one of the first people in the entire office there that day. I was like, this is ridiculous. And that's exactly where I was headed too. Like, I had no choice but to have that same mentality of like, first in, last out. Do whatever it takes. And I was like, nah, I'm okay. What if I could go be creative and do my own thing? I have no problem working hard, but that's too much. Can't sleep unless it's your bed. I mean, I can sleep in like other beds, but I prefer my bed as well. Big time. That's why content creation is such an interesting concept to me. Hard to say if I'd can ever make it and replace my current job. Not an easy task by any means, but it sounds much more appealing to make content than it does and build a good kind of core group of people that follow everything I do than working a 9-to-5 job. And I have a very flexible boss currently, but I still have to be working during the day and attentive. Whereas with content creation, you gotta do whatever you want. You gotta get stuff done, or you can't pay the bills. But if I want to go skiing in the morning, I could go ski in the morning and then work on base builds the rest of the day. Sounds very appealing. And I get to hang out with people. while doing it. Streaming has been really fun. There's a lot of pressure with trying to make videos and make interesting content that isn't just... I don't know how content creators, like, I can't make the same video that someone else makes. Like, everyone's like, another patch update. And I get why they do it, because it's easy views. But I want to make everything, like, super unique and interesting and different. Do videos that no one else has done. Easier said than done is the struggle. But if I had the time, it probably would be interesting in making really good patch note videos that go like super in depth and go over like specifics that aren't just weapon and armor things and different build videos. Like I could do a top 10 build tips for every build game ever made. That sounds fun. Stream a different building game every day of the week. Also sounds fun. Would not complain. Curved wall. My last job was working for a natural gas company, putting in the lines. That was a nightmare. That sounds horrible. Worked for a medical sales company for a while. That job sucked. Because I worked the same hours as a doctor, but I didn't get paid like a doctor. And when the doctors had problems, they just screamed and yelled at me. Because everything was, I need this now, it's urgent. Oh my gosh, we're out of mushroom, dang. Yeah, that was a miserable job. And the company I worked for was horrific. They were such a bad company. I can't believe that no one sued them for all the stupid things they did. This is interesting. We are out of mushroom, though. I have to go get more. Yeah, I'm in new game +2, and I save scum the heck out of the burgle flipper, and now I have 4 quickness buffs. I'm the Flash. Nice, that's awesome. Worst part was being on call every day because people hit the gas lines. Yeah, that was the main part, the issue. I ran the trauma department. And so I wasn't a salesperson, but I was the sales support. Actually, it's gonna be faster to go over to my other base. I was the sales support, and so I set up all of the cases for like if someone broke their arm and you had to get like plates and screws, and so I'd get everything set up for in the system when the sales rep added that specific case for a certain day of the week or whatever, and my job was to get all of the trays and equipment they needed set up and delivered.
This is awesome!
And trauma was always cases adding on, so I was getting calls at 10:30 at night like, I need this, and like we paid someone to be on call, and for some reason I still got calls even though I wasn't the person on call because they would rather deal with me because I was in charge of the department. So I got calls all day, every day for 2 years straight, and it was miserable. And then they doubled my workload because they fired the spine guy and that ran the spine department, and they're like, you do such a good job, what if you just do both? Wouldn't that be great? And no pay increase, no nothing. And I was like, found another job 2 months later. It's like, I'm out. You can't use me like that. Hey, should I give this game a try? On board, 100%. This game is I played a lot of Minecraft in my days. This game is way better than Minecraft. Combat's very interesting, very difficult at times. The story is amazing. It's super fun. The art style is so much better than Minecraft's. And I'm saying this from someone who thoroughly has thousands of hours in Minecraft. This game is amazing. It's very, very fun. And with all the new stuff that they're adding, and oh jeez, as they all right, I'm gonna kill myself. Keep doing that stuff. As with the new update, and as they sort of clear things up and fix some of the glitches that got introduced with it, it's like near endless playability at this point because they have so much new Game Plus content being added. I love this game though. I have 2,000 hours in this game currently. Most of it spent on building. If you like building in Minecraft, you'll enjoy building in this game as well. It's a very fun game overall. And there's playgrounds modes, which is super cool. So sort of like the concept of like Halo Forge and stuff. You can build, you get the developer tools, and you can build crazy custom games within Grounded that other people can play. There's so many amazing different facets to this game. They've added so much to it, and it's also not even an expensive game. It's very cheap for how much you get. Oh yeah, if you have Game Pass, then it's totally free. So you should quadruple try it. Download it right now. Jeez. Go away. Alright, we'll just kill the spider real fast. It's kind of a great mix between like fun art style, fun combat, like very similar, easier than like Bloodborne or those kind of games, but like very dependent on like perfect blocking and skill-based combat. So the combats can be really fun. It's got everything. Does it all. It can be hard. Like if you play on the hardest difficulty, it's extremely difficult. If you play on mild, it's just a great time, and it's funny. The game has some derpy glitches that I thoroughly enjoy, that are funny, create very funny moments. Once you get good at perfect blocking, the game becomes a lot easier. But in the beginning, it can feel very difficult. But you can just play on mild and get used to the game. Is there a gun? There are no guns in this game. Just weapons and shields. I have like there's crossbows, arrows, crossbows, and bows. For range, there's also like magic staffs. Sort of like a survival game mixed with an RPG, mixed with a building game, mixed with Halo Forge, mixed with very similar. Like if you like the redstone stuff in Minecraft, you can essentially do a lot of that sort of craziness and build custom games, custom maps. There's all sorts of interesting, yeah, bows, crossbows, magic stuff, all sorts of different weapon types. There's hundreds of different build concepts that you can build. Like if you like to play combat a specific way, there's so many different styles. Summon builds that are good now. There's all sorts of fun stuff. It's kind of a little daunting to get started probably at this point because they've added so much to it, but give it some time, watch some tutorials, and you'll thoroughly enjoy yourself, especially because it's free. You definitely won't regret it. Yeah, axes, clubs. The upgrading system can be a little bit of a grind at times, but it's pretty dang good overall. Anything you should be aware of? Spiders are scary.
That was refreshing.
If you don't have arachnophobia, you might have it after you play the game. But you can turn arachnophobia off so they're not as scary as well if you don't like spiders. I would just say take your time, like go slow. It's a fun journey. The story is, I think, is really enjoyable as well. It's very funny. There's a lot of fun jokes. If you like spiders, you'll have a great time. Just don't get too frustrated at the first thing you fight. Just realize that there's a learning curve, and once you understand the combat, it becomes so much easier. Build a shield, get a single-handed weapon, and then go nuts. Yeah, I think the game does a pretty good job. It doesn't necessarily tell you exactly where to go. It kind of leaves you like that open world aspect where you can kind of go and explore it your own. It says like, hey, go to this area and then explore. The parkour can be fairly difficult, I think, for new players, but you'll get better at it. It is just 1 yard, yeah, for the base game. There's in the playgrounds mode, which is completely custom for building worlds and using the developer tools. Those have some other places you can build in, but this is the whole world that you're in. And it will feel, it doesn't necessarily look massive because I have zip lines and stuff built that get you across the map. And like, I'm in the New Game Plus 2, so I've played through the game twice, or this is my third time in this singular world, and you get to keep building through it. So I've unlocked things like teleporters that you get later, so you can teleport across the map to different areas, like different little bases that I've built. It's pretty amazing though, honestly. I have 2,000 hours in this game, so I thoroughly enjoy this. But the world feels massive in the beginning, which is great in a good way. The good thing about this game is that the characters talk to each other if you play multiplayer. Yeah, multiplayer was one of the funniest experiences I've had in a game in a long time too. There were times where I was like crying, laughing, playing multiplayer with some friends of mine. You can set up a 4-player multiplayer, and there's on their Discord, if you like want to play with other people, they have a like specific section in their Discord to play with other people. And there might be people in my Discord as well, on my Discord, that might want to play and help you learn the game out as well. Got a pretty good little crew going on in there. But if you like survival, if you like RPGs, if you like base building, if you like hard combat, it does all of the fun things, I think. Out of clay already? Dude. No, it just doesn't reach. It's like I collected so much. Yeah, free servers. Xbox. Yeah, you can play up to 4 people in a world. And you can play with like it's 4 different people. There's 4 characters, so you can play with friends. You can play cross-platform as well. So you can play it with Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, or PC. It's got a lot of optionality. And you can like start a single player world and invite people and share like into your world as well. Have you ever missed your tuft from the top to the bottom of the pagoda? Yes, I have, Knife. I have done that many times. Okay, I can see the appeal now. Yeah. I think what I love about this game is that like there's people that love the combat and just want to fight. Well, now you can go to New Game Plus 10 and then it keeps going endlessly. So you can definitely increase the difficulty of the game to a point where it's impossible to even beat if that's what you want to do. Like you want to make it that hard. Or like myself, I want to build. So I have settings and stuff that I was able to change to allow building to be more fun. Then there's playgrounds if you like building your own. Like someone built like a lemonade stand, or like a cookie stand, or like a button pressing game. There's also like someone built there was like only up was super popular for a while. Someone built an only down map in a custom world with the developer tools and stuff. And there's literally like all the developer tools are available, so you can build like crazy functionality like redstone in Minecraft, like really cool stuff. Can I make a server where it's like 20 people pop? You can only have 4 people, unfortunately. That is the max, because there's only 4 characters. That is the only thing that they haven't added to the game, is the ability to add a ton of people. But there are, in the Playgrounds world, tons of arena maps that have been made, so you can play PvP with 4 people in there, or you can play in the normal game. You can have friendly fire on or off. There's a lot of customization to it, but yeah, 4 people is the maximum. This is not enough mushroom. Should have got more. Do we sleep? Yeah. If 50 people would be crazy. Unfortunately, I think the issue is that it would be super laggy. You can customize your game if you want. You can turn on... Yeah, there's bug grades and stuff too. If you kill a bunch of the same bugs, they attack your base and stuff. It's really good. 20 people would be hilarious though. Just cuz, you know. If they added that functionality in like Minecraft, where you could build like massive servers for people to play on, it would be pretty cool. Unfortunately, not going to happen though at this point. This is the pretty much the final iteration of the game. They'll be fixing bugs and patching little things, changing quality of life, and there'll be seasonal events as well still being added. But other than that, we're pretty much at the end of the road for content, unless they pull a quick one on us. Which seems unlikely. As much as I would like it. I didn't even need to go get those mushrooms. I just needed to grind more mushrooms. And my Discord's a great place. There's a bunch of people that are really good at the game in there that can help answer questions, give ideas, all sorts of stuff. Do a rainbow road with lights inside the mushroom pillars. I mean, sort of the idea. I don't know if it'll be a rainbow. That could be really cool. But the idea behind it is like the base tour that I posted the other day for Iterative, is to sort of like use that same concept of lighting underneath all of that stuff. Go crazy. Should be fun. I do have a rainbow road, yeah. But I get the concept you're saying, like in the ground would also be really cool. I really hope there will be a grounded 2. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm hopeful. I don't know if it'll be grounded 2. I don't know if we'll get what we'll get, but I would be surprised as now one of Xbox's like... I mean, the game was so popular they added it to Switch and PlayStation, and there's still discussions that I know of happening about a show and a TV series. Like, if those things still happen, I think it's very possible that we get grounded 2. Knowing how good this game did for how like small of a little team it is, I'd be very surprised if we don't get something else, because it can only get better. The devs are so good, it's very possible. Definitely the best dev team. So glad that they fixed the location, yeah. And that only took them a couple days too. Not an easy fix, I guarantee. I'm hopeful that we will get a grounded 2 though. And if we do, I'll be here playing it from day one. That is the only thing I wish, is that I would have found grounded when it was in early access. I would have had a lot of fun starting from the very, very beginning. They have a show, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, but they're making their own Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, so it's even better. Pretty much, other than like Subnautica. Subnautica and Grounded are very close in terms of like my favorite games ever. It's hard to decide which one I like more. I like them both for very specific reasons in their own. It's a waste. Yeah, Subnautica. Welcome in, NM. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, Subnautica 2, I'll 100% be playing that one as well. Too good of a game. Yeah, same. Visually, just one of the best games ever made. The exploration of it. The only thing I don't like about Subnautica is that there's not more to it. I just want to keep playing. I'd probably beat the game 5 or 6 times, at least. It's so good, I bought it on my Switch. Just so I could play playthroughs while I'm out and about. I have it on PC and that. I am loving the floor. Nice, thank you. I think it's coming together. I'm having fun with it. I'm definitely not the first person to use this idea. But it's such a cool one, I had to do it on something, on one of my builds. Just chilling, still have halted the pagoda base because it's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a ton. I took a long, I mean, I had 600 or 700 days in the pagoda base in game. The slower you build the beginning and the more accurate you do it, the better it turns out overall as well. And I like building bases as like a way to continue the story for myself. So I like getting the rough idea of the bases figured out, and then from there adding details and having fun with it to intermix so I don't just beat the game instantly. I concur. Sonata 2 is coming out soon, I thought. It might be going into early access in 2024, although I thought I heard that it might not be till 2025. But we will be getting it in a year, essentially. Year or sooner. This base is amazing. Yeah, I could see that. It makes the experience a lot better, for sure. Some wild builds. Unfortunately, I lost it when I got a new computer. I forgot to save my stuff when my computer died. I was too focused on getting this grounded world saved and backed up that I forgot about my Subnautica stuff. And I had one base that I built in Subnautica in the shallows. Unfortunately, I can't perfectly replicate it now, which I'm kind of frustrated about. I'm gonna have to redesign it. Oh no, right? More content at the end of the day. Could be worse. But I built a really, really cool shallows base that I'm still really proud of. So we will be recreating that in some capacity at some point once I get back into Subnautica. Night Knife, thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a great rest of your night, man. I think I want to do the opposite of what I'm doing here. So do you just come into the game and just straight start building your ideas? No, I thoroughly enjoy playing the story in the beginning of any game I play. And you have to get to a point. I usually start with a very, very simple, like if I logged into my Subnautica right now, like the build that I'm currently working on always starts off as a really, really simple little base. And then as I get through more of the story, then I slowly start building things out as a way to like slow down a progression a little bit. I hate rushing through story games. I want to enjoy the story. Like I'm not playing the story game to like finish it in an hour and then being like, well, now what do I do? Like I want to have fun with it. And so I tend to do that with everything. Oh yeah, I just meant do you come up with the idea of a base like this? Start small. Everyone sees a lot of what I do from the very, very like end, like this, where I've been working on this for so long now. It's a lot bigger than it seems. I break it down into little parts. So like the pagoda base just starts with those walls in the beginning. So you build out the center of the pagoda base, you build the walls that are inset within other things, and then I build one floor, and I lay out one floor and decide what that one floor is, and then I build out the next floor, and then, oh, there's a tree stump sticking out of the water. Well, I could build a bridge and go get sap from there, and then, oh, I could build a cross behind the pagoda and build a farm over there, and then, like, oh, I need a place to put pets. Well, I make a little pet barn, and I just like design and come up with little ideas. And just little by little add to it. Like this base just started with a really simple outline and then a perfect box that went up to here. And then another like this rough angled box, just a box though, up. And then slowly change it and change it and change it as I go. I tried Subnautica, but I was too terrified to beat it because I have a fear of really open waters. I have a similar fear, but I also love, I don't know, like deep sea animal life for some reason. Like my wife always gives me crap because I've seen every nature documentary on like the ocean because I think it's super fascinating. But like, would I want to go in like in a submarine? No, never. Like I have no interest in that. I don't need to see it all up front. I like snorkeling and stuff, I guess, but something about that game, the horror of it all was amazing at the same time. That is what I wanted, just the base foundation walls and outside pedlet foundation. You're an architect, right? I mean, you're just good with building. I suck. I worked in an architecture firm. I don't currently anymore, though. I left that, and I work for an architectural site furnishings company now. We sell architectural site furnishing products, simply put. Which one I want. But yeah, I've always thoroughly enjoyed design. I definitely think my architecture background helps me be creative, but anyone can build crazy stuff in games. You don't have to be an architect by any means. I just have an interesting thought process, I think, that maybe differs from the way people think about video game building, or building in video games. And when I first played Subnautica and realized what was below my heart rate was definitely up a lot, then I intentionally went after certain stuff. Yeah, you slowly get unafraid of them. It's one of those, like, I definitely still have moments where a Reaper makes me poop my pants. Alright, well, that wasn't what I was trying to do. But I love the like the exploration of Subnautica. There are very few games that can capture that like pure feeling of like exploring the open nothingness. It's an amazing game, like experience. I think they made with that game. You're a skilled dumb man. Were you always good at building? I've always enjoyed it, but like when I started playing Minecraft originally, I think that's what originally got me into building in video games, and I would build like ridiculous minecart roller coasters, and my buddy had a server that he added a bunch of mods to and stuff, and I slowly got to the point where I started playing, I think, the Technic pack and Tekkit packs, so like the technical things you could add to the game. And then I started building like bigger and bigger bases. I built like mage towers and stuff. I always had a lot of fun doing little stuff, but none of it was like if you watch my Harry Potter boathouse build video, like stuff like on that scale, nothing this big. And I think Subnautica was one of the next games that I started building really big bases in. And then I really enjoyed building big bases in Subnautica. And then Forge in Halo, I built ridiculous like warthog racetracks and mongoose racetracks on Halo Forge, and had a ton of fun. Like, I think that was a big thing that got me like more and more into building, was that like custom aspect of Forge and Halo. I think like Halo 3 or whatever. I think that was a big thing for me. And then I think Subnautica is where I really got into like base building and building really big bases. And then once I found this, my buddy got me onto Grounded, and he started building a cool base, and I was like, whoa, 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 hold on a second. I've never built anything this cool. And it just exploded. Hey. You're not supposed to bounce away. There's not many things that use just lint. That's interesting. That threw me off for a second. Very few things use just lint. Most of them use lint rope. I mean, I don't even know if anything build-wise actually uses lint. Yeah, I did MLG tournaments in Halo 2 back in the day. I was always good at shooters, not so much anymore. I got into survival games and fell in love with the exploration of Subnautica. I think I'm very similar. I didn't play competitive. I played in a couple Halo tournaments with some friends, just like fun ones in college. Weren't really anything too crazy, but I played Valorant, I played League of Legends, played a bunch of like competitive style games. Played a ton of Halo, an absolute crap ton of Call of Duty before they went to like battle royales and stuff. I had like 30 days on every Call of Duty up through Black Ops 2, I think is what it was. And then I've slowly stopped liking competitive games more and more. As time's gone on, they just frustrate me a lot more now. And it's hard to keep up with people that play the game nonstop 24/7, and because I have other things to do in my life now. I have a kid, so it's hard to keep up with a competitive game like that. But that's where survival games feel great, because I can create my own challenge at the end of the day. It's not even the monsters, it's just seeing the empty void of nothing around you. Oh, 100%. And that's where they did so well, is that they created that feeling in a video game. It's insane to me that they were able to create that like feeling so well. That's what they were missing in Below Zero, unfortunately. Below Zero is a better like visually looking game. They did an amazing job on the art, but they're missing that sense of like exploration and horror from floating in these massively open areas. I don't understand how he still attacks me. The other ones don't attack me when I run by them. Yeah, I never played Valorant. I was a CSGO guy. Same thing, just mixed with more chaos because all the characters have abilities. I played CSGO for a little while too, but I wasn't very good at it. I was past my gaming prime at that point. Same frustrating. I loved Rocket League. Rocket League was so fun. Oh, I also played Scrap Mechanic a ton. Scrap Mechanic was a big game. I played with a buddy of mine and built ridiculous things in Scrap Mechanic. Before they turned it into like the full release survival game where it was just like a little custom world where you could build things. I built so many cool machines. Ratchet and Clank, or not Ratchet, sorry, Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts. I loved building in that game, just cars and stuff, but same concept. I really enjoyed the building in that as well. Not a game for everyone. Some people hated that, but I love building weird cars in that game. I play KBM and almost to D3. Dang. Haven't done a playthrough on Below Zero. I think it's very fun. It's visually stunning. The game, you just would have to be ready for a different experience. Like if you go into it expecting Subnautica, you're going to be disappointed. If you go into it expecting that it's different but is good in its own way, I think it was well done. It's just different. It doesn't capture the same aspects to me that Subnautica did so successfully. The exploration is less interesting. It feels more choreographed, and areas are kind of force you to go one way instead of Subnautica 1, where it was just like, go forth and explore the nothingness. Good luck. So it lost a little bit of the appeal to me, but at the same time, it's still a really, really well done game. It's just different. I looked up Scrap Mechanic. It was a really interesting game. And it's like totally different from what I played it as. It was before they added in like the actual survival aspect. I should probably check it out again at some point. I had a great time building. I rebuilt a warthog that like functioned like a warthog. Built some cool planes and stuff. It was fun. Any game that I can be creative in, I enjoy. Like along with a compelling story, I have a good time. Ground's just been the one that's kept my attention for building the longest. One thing I don't like about lint is that it bounces everywhere. I get most of my lint. Yeah, I never understood. That's one mechanic I never understood, why lint bounces. Because it shouldn't. In real life, it wouldn't bounce. It would just hit the ground and stick. It would make gathering all of it a lot easier. I just skip most of the stuff that hits the ground if I don't catch it right off the bat. And it does have a really good build mechanics, yeah. And they've just like consistently added to it. Like it never became this like the second child to the story and like what everyone else wanted. It was like they wanted to make building a fun aspect to the game, and they stuck through it the whole way and have consistently added little bits to it to make it better and better every update. Whether it just be like good decor pieces, new decor pieces. Like I made a couple suggestions when I was on the grounded casually grounded stream, and they put some of the stuff in the game. One specific, I'll take credit for the quarter triangle pieces. They had asked me if there was anything specifically that I was missing as a builder that I would like, and I was like, quarter triangles, and they actually added them. Everyone had been complaining and wanting why is this not building? Everyone asked for vertical walls and quarter walls and all that stuff, but that's my claim to fame there. I'll take credit for that one. Okay, now it builds. Cool. Columns are weird. They're funny to build with when you build like this. Yeah, it would make it so much easier to get. Yeah. It definitely would. I wonder if I just... This is where I like to do iterations, where it's like all this is... I'll build each section out slightly different to try out different ideas. So I want the floor to be really cool and interesting. So switching around and creating patterns and stuff with different materials is kind of the goal. I've never played PvP games because I'm actually kind of insane with PvP. When I'm doing PvP, I completely forget all of my gaming skills. I have moments like that where I am really good or I'm really bad. But that's the fun. I always played them and like tried to do semi-competitive, but also just have fun with them. Valorant I did the best when I was having fun with it at the same time as like playing try hard. Holy cow. It's 10:33 already, dude. Where's the time go? This one can be the whole floor. Come on. Get in there. Only play PvP games if my friends want to play. Yeah, that's where I typically played as well. I played Valorant because that's what my friends played for a while. Played a lot of Valorant though, even though it was an extremely infuriating game. My wife much prefers me playing Grounded. I get to. This could look cool. Oh, it's been so many days since I'm building, it's hard to stop. Things are starting to come together. I think a diamond shape or something similar would look pretty good in the middle. True. How does one create those? Huh. Like, I have an idea for foundation in the floor, but I also don't know if that's the way to go. I need to try out other materials. Oh, stinky. I should have been paying. I told everyone not to do what I just did. And what did I do? Do exactly what I tell everyone not to do. Something interesting in the middle. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Could just be like... It's kind of what I'm doing on the roof. And then like... I can't put foundations like that, so it might have to be these. Get in there. Yeah, I really need to continue building my giant. I don't know what to even call it. I don't know what half of my things are anyways. They don't have to be anything to be cool. As long as you're having fun with it. They can be whatever you want them to be. That might be interesting. I do kind of like that better than the full floor as well. Alright, didn't make the same mistake. Alrighty, I'm out of mushrooms. And it's already 10:40, so I'm gonna call it here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. I should be back tomorrow. Rude. That's gonna break the whole floor, isn't it? Thanks for hanging out. It was fun. We definitely made some really good progress on the build today. It's really coming together. I'm probably gonna finish this in the next week or so, if I don't go too much more crazy. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great day tomorrow. My wife is doing her friend's hair, so I may have to watch my kid. So it may be a broken up stream, depending on if he goes to sleep and stays asleep or not. We'll see what happens. If it's like tonight, he just slept through the night and he's good to go, but we will see what happens. I'll keep everyone updated in the Discord. If you're not part of that, go join. We just added a bunch of fun little things to it today. It's getting better and better every day. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.